What's good? This your boy Justin, here giving you the first episode of Winning Seasons with Justin Gadison. Just here to bring you some of the weekly updates, things that's happening in the sports world. I'm a simple guy here in San Antonio, Texas, recording live at Stop Playing Studios. Just gonna bring you some quick hits from the different sports that are going on right now. Just starting up off the top with some NFL news, seeing why it's this playoff season. AFC, NFC Championship weekend, and just the other stuff that's going on as well. First off, Phillips Rivers retired. Yes. After years and years since 2004 of being a starting quarterback in the league, Philip Rivers has decided to retire and go home to his 67 million kids and wife and coach football in Alabama. He's had a really, really remarkable career, seeing as the person he replaced in San Diego was Drew Brees. Made playoffs 7 times in his career, not with the best record. Always ran into Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or a whole slew of great quarterbacks in the AFC. But came through with some accolades of his own. 15 straight seasons with more than 1,000 yards. 5th all-time in passing yards and passing TDs. But like I said before, he's always been stuck behind guys like Brady, Manning, Drew Brees, Rodgers, Roethlisberger. Some even put him behind Eli. Those 2 rings count a lot for him. Even though Eli's got a 500 record, those rings count a lot for Eli. So Giants fans count it as a win, but I'm sure Charger fans are still grateful. A lot of people say he's a surefire Hall of Famer. I don't think so. I mean, that ring kind of means something, but definitely in the Hall of really, really good guys. Also, the hot topic of the NFL now with the offseason coming up for some teams is quarterback situations. You got a lot of guys up in the air, a lot of teams that need them, a lot of ones that have them, and then you got a couple guys that are ready to be on the move. Top of the list is the Jets. Right now they got a current quarterback situation, whether they should keep Sam Darnold or move on from him. A lot of people believe that they can do 1 of 3 things with it. Hang on to Darnold and use the picks for more picks and continue to build up the team around him, give the new regime a chance to coach them up. Or you just move on. Go ahead and trade some of those picks, and maybe Darnold as well, to Houston for Deshaun Watson. He wants out of Houston. The relationship is beyond repair. Might not want to come back. Or just draft a quarterback. Trade Darnold, get some picks or whatever for him, and build around whoever they draft next. I mean, there's a ton of guys in that top 3. They got the number 2 pick. So it's a ton of guys that they could pick from. I mean, Lawrence is gone, but it's Zach Wilson out of BYU, Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, and you got also Justin Fields out of Ohio State. I wouldn't pick them that high, but hey, somebody's going to do it. And the Texans, I mean, with Deshaun Watson's no trade clause, not a lot you can do. I mean, you can go out and see what deals you can find, but unless he agrees to it, he's got the ball in his court, you know? He can only sit for so long. Them missed days of workouts and practices and games, that hits right in the pocket. So, I mean, teams that he's been rumored to be interested in have been mostly Miami. Some people have thrown out the 49ers. Didn't know that about them, but hey, we'll get back to them in a second. Another team that also is having some quarterback issues right now, the Eagles. They seem to be going all in on repairing their relationship with Carson Wentz. So the question now becomes, what do you do with Jalen? If I'm Jalen, I can't go back to the bench. Not after what you've seen me do. I've grown so much in the last few weeks. I don't know if you could just be okay with going back to the bench. Now, Hurts is a really great teammate. he's more than willing to do it. We've seen him do it in college. He was cool passing it off to Tua and riding it out a season. But you seen what he did after that season. He bolted straight to Oklahoma. He got that ring and he left. So, I mean, it's all up in the air. All up in the air for that. And honestly, I mean, you want to see Wentz come back. You definitely do. He was MVP candidate before he got hurt. That Super Bowl winning season. So you definitely want to see if maybe a new coaching regime comes in and can fix it, coach them up, get them back in the right direction. Indy just lost Phillip Rivers. What did they do? I mean, they still got Jacoby Brissett on the roster. They didn't really pick anybody to potentially be a backup for him. All options are on the table. Do you trade for Darnold? Do you trade for Wentz or Hurts? Do you try to jump in with Deshaun? Not possible because, I mean, they're in the division. I highly doubt Houston trades within the division, but anything is possible. Also heard rumors about the Rams being ready to walk away from Goff. Goff, not that great to me, but somebody's always out there thinking that they can coach somebody up, so there's a possibility for that as well. Then you also got the free agent options for him. You got not free agent options. You can trade for Jimmy G, but you got Cam coming over in the free agency because the Pats aren't bringing them back. With the Colts, you can also move up in the draft, stay picked. If you stay with your first, which is the 21st pick, this guy's going to be available. Like Mac Jones out of Alabama, Kyle Trask out of Florida. You could use later picks on like Jamie Newsom out of Georgia, and Shane Buechele out of SMU. Shout out Shane Buechele. And then, I mean, the same can kind of be applied to like teams like the Patriots. Go out and get somebody, trade for Stafford, trade for Jimmy. You can bring back Cam and try to run it back with a year under his belt. I highly doubt it, but you never really know. You can draft one at 18. Again, those guys in the middle of the round, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask. You never know. You honestly never know. And then the Panthers at 8. They got to get somebody in there. I love Teddy. He's not going to win you games on his own. He's a great game manager. If you got the talent around him, he will not lose you a game. But Teddy just might be done. He's had a great story coming back from that injury. And, I mean, sitting behind Breeze and everything, he's just not going to win you any games. And it's a shame, but it is what it is. He's always been a game manager, and that's just been his lane. And then a situation that I really didn't see coming was Atlanta. Is it time to walk away from Matt Ryan? Like, do you ride with him? Or do you go draft at number 4 and just start preparing for the future? It's a lot of options there. I mean, Atlanta's always been kind of middle of the road the last few years. With that 1 year they took off for the Super Bowl and then blew it. But they've always just been middle of the road. Do they want to roll the dice and bring in some, fresh blood? Or do they want to just see what they got, see if they can build off of what they have now and go from there? Who knows? And right now, we'll just go ahead and transition into the playoff matchup. We got the Bills at the Chiefs. Mahomes is ready, or he will be ready come game time with the way he's progressing through the concussion protocol. But my only real question is Josh Allen ready for this moment? Like, he's had a great season. They have provided him with everything he's needed to develop properly, the right offensive line. Getting Stephon Diggs is a huge get. His entire receiving core has stepped up as a whole. He himself has gotten better. He's saying, this is my completion rate across the middle. I need to step up here. And they've done a great job in building him up to be that guy. But Josh Allen is going to Josh Allen. First playoff game, literally within the last 2 minutes of the game, dude does what? A backwards lateral to somebody he knew was there but couldn't see, and blew the game. I don't know if I trust it at this big of a stage, but if he proves me wrong, I'll gladly be wrong. And then this game also it's like a changing of the guard. The AFC has always been the division with the elder quarterbacks. You've always seen a Manning, a Brady, or Ben Roethlisberger in this position to get into the Super Bowl. You got Patrick Mahomes, only a few years in. You got Josh Allen, only a few years in. Behind him, you got Lamar Jackson. These guys are coming. And this is perfect for the league as it starting to have the markets for the future, especially when you got guys, your older statements are starting to retire. Next game we got is the Tampa Bay at Green Bay. This is a GOAT matchup. Brady versus Rodgers. We've waited forever for this. Unfortunately, never got to see them on the stage that they should have been, mainly because Green Bay has never taken care of Rodgers the way they should have. And finally, he's got a team around him. He's got a defense that can keep up with him. He's got Devontae Adams out there playing out of his mind. Rodgers off an MVP season. Brady is being Brady. I mean, at this point, what can you say? Like, I can't, as much as I want to hate on him, I can't hate on him. He's consistent. He's not going to cost you any games. He's going to show up every single time. That defense in Tampa is lights out when they're on. And they proved it earlier this year when they matched up with Green Bay in Week 6, winning 38-10. I watched that game. They dismantled Rodgers. And I'm not really confident in saying that Green Bay will win it, even though I'm picking them too. I just wouldn't be, again, I don't fuck with Tom Brady. Sorry, I understand. He's the GOAT, 6 rings, 7 rings, whatever. I understand it. I don't like him. I just don't, okay? Whatever. Now we got that out of there. I'm picking the Packers to win it. It's at Lambeau. Maybe it'll be different. Fingers crossed. From then, we'll just go transition into the NBA. Right now, the topic of all discussions are the Brooklyn Nets in the new Big Three: KD, Harden, and Kyrie. Played their first game. Just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, those Cleveland Cavaliers in a game that went into overtime. How does that happen? I don't know. Colin Sexton went for 46. But I still don't know. I don't. There's no way in hell that should happen, but it did. And they got some stuff they got to figure out. Do you move Kyrie off the ball? Do you let James bring it up? Do you let him set up the offense? Do you let him move? Who do you go to in crunch time? Because, I mean, we watched the game earlier this year. It wasn't early in the year, of course. But who do you go to? Kyrie missed the game winner, kicked it to KD. KD missed the game winner. I mean, now granted, you got another third option that can kick it with James, but most chances you're not going to get that many opportunities at a game winner. So who do you go to? I mean, I trust James with the ball. I mean, that's Mr. Triple-Double as well. People forget that. He can move an offense alone. When he was the third man in OKC, that was his thing. He moved the ball. He kept everybody inactive, kept everybody touching the ball on each play. So, I mean, I trust him to do that too. I mean, KD, he'll get you buckets. Minus 7 foot tall. He will get you buckets. Defense is where I worry a little bit. Harden is not the matador defense that everybody thinks. He's got a big body. He can play D. KD, he can guard 1 through 5. 5 with a little difficulty, but he can guard 1 through 5. Kyrie, I don't know. He just gave up 46 to Colin Sexton. Granted, he's coming off a situation where he needed to step away, get some air, which I personally fully support and understand. Sometimes with the social climate being the way it is, you feel like you're bigger than an athlete, and that weight gets put on you. I can understand that. You got to step away for a minute, but you can't just step away and say nothing to the people that kind of depend on you right now. Depending on you, meaning your team. You got to say something to somebody. Even if they don't approve of it, they got to give you that space. It ain't like you hurting for money. You could take a fine or whatever, but you got to let somebody know something instead of just disappearing and not showing back up. The Rockets, out of that trade, they got Victor Oladipo. They got tons and tons of draft picks. I would have kept Karis LeVert, but they sent him over to Indiana for Victor Oladipo. I would have kept Jared Allen, but they sent Jared Allen over to Cleveland. I'm not too mad about it, but now you got a team with John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and Victor Oladipo. This feels like the Wizards team a couple years ago. Because Bill and Oladipo play a similar game. Oladipo probably a little bit better on defense, but definitely high-volume shooters will chunk it with the best. And then you got John Wall being John Wall, and you got DeMarcus Cousins being DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, I don't know how to really feel about this team. They did the best they can. Whenever you're training a superstar, you're never getting equal value, even if you are getting a ton of draft picks. All of them are going to be late because of who you traded them to. So it's kind of a wait and see on that, but I feel like they're like the Wizards of the West now. And the Clippers and the Warriors. You got the Warriors coming back sans Klay Thompson. Still waiting for him to come back. If his recovery is anything like KD's, they're going to be fine in the future. Wiseman is going to be a beast, and he's going to help this team transition to a more pick-and-roll style offense as they begin to get older. Because, Klay is in his 30s. Steph is in his 30s. Draymond's getting up there. Draymond offers you nothing offensively. But what he offers to Wiseman is amazing guidance on the court. And he's pretty much coaching him throughout the entire game, and that's great for him and his development. So Wiseman's definitely going to help this Warrior team get back to where they should be, even if Klay doesn't come back till next year or whatever. And then the Clippers. The Clippers are the Clippers. Right now, they're going to let Kawhi do whatever Kawhi want to do as long as they get into the playoffs, and then hopefully Kawhi cuts it on. Because if you're depending on Paul George to get you to the finals, you're in for a bad time. And I'm sorry to say that. A lot of people were worried in the offseason about the Clippers team and all the people that they were bringing in. They're still the Clippers. They're better than they used to be, but they're still the Clippers. Kawhi being this great LeBron stopper, it ain't happened since, 2012, 2011? Who knows? But I don't know. I'm not buying it. He's a great player. Needs better people around him. Needs better coaching. That's all I can say on that. Quick transition into college football. I promise you I only got a few more of these left. This year we watched Alabama bring home another championship, solidifying Nick Saban as the greatest coach of all time in college football with his 7th title. And they're loaded. They're going to be back. Like, it's almost not fair. It shouldn't be fair. It should be illegal. Like, they should get some recruiting violations made up on them and have to only recruit like 6 players every year or something, because these dudes are loaded. It's NFL players up and down these rosters, and they're only getting better, especially next year with Bryce Young coming back. Mac Jones was great, but Mac Jones to me was the sum of all his parts. He was throwing to 2 or 3 first-round receivers. Najee Harris, despite the NFL draft patterns now, is a first-round caliber running back. And the offensive line, superstars across the board. And he played great. He didn't lose you any games. He didn't throw you out of any games. He stayed within the systems. He hit who was open. And that's all he had to do. But that kid behind him, Bryce Young, oh, man, he is something serious. And I cannot wait to see what they do next year. Only real change for the team is you got Doug Marrone coming in, former Jaguars head coach, as the offensive line coach, continuing Nick Saban's streak of rehabilitating bad head coaches from other places. He's moving into the pros with that now. And then Sark going to Texas. As you can see, I am a Texas fan. And honestly, I'm a realist. I'm also a Cowboys fan. I don't believe any of our teams are back until I see it. Sark's offense works like a dream if you got the right players. We haven't had the right players in a while. We've got a lot of good guys, a lot of great talent, but the wrong coaches to try to bring it out. I'm excited who we've recruited and who we got brought in, and I'm excited about the guys that are still on the roster, but I don't know. I got to see it. But we're competing for playoffs again and not losing to Oklahoma every damn year. I'll buy into it. But until then, you got to show me. Their opponent, Ohio State. All I can say is the most talented team outside of the SEC. It's really that simple. Like, they ran through Clemson, who is a really well-coached team and has some pretty decent talent, and we'll get to that in a second as well. But they aren't Alabama. They played half the games Alabama played and just got wrecked. Alabama's team dealt with some things this year. Ohio State had to fight just to get to the championship and then get their ass whooped in the championship. There's just something about him. Like, great school, great history, but I don't know. They meet Saban and it's a wrap. I mean, I don't know what to really say. And the last part for the college football news, or just information that I got, not all of this is even really news. Clemson got to give Dabo Swinney a round of applause. He has built the greatest program ever, or he at least become the greatest program builder. Clemson has never been what it is today. Clemson was always known for getting to bowl games or getting in a position to be great and never sealing a deal. He's made it to where it is a yearly thing for them to be at the top of the polls, to be in the playoffs. Granted, last two out efforts, they haven't been up to snuff, but that was more of a talent compared to thing, as opposed to coaching. They literally have the best defensive coordinator in the country in Brent Venables, and they're never letting that guy leave. But Clemson, when was the last time you ever said you wanted to go to Clemson, South Carolina? I mean, for any reason, like not to go watch a game or whatever. When has anybody ever said they wanted to go to Clemson, South Carolina? Never. Ever. And what he's managed to do is successfully pull guys out of the SEC, not the mainstream Alabama SEC recruits, but the guys, lesser known guys, and just pull them out and be like, hey, you want to come up here, we'll win some games, we got some nice stuff. Got a pretty decent looking student lodge areas. Got a great looking weight room and great looking locker room. Come up here, we'll win some games. And he's turned it around, and he's only had a top 10 recruiting class, I want to say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times since he took over in 2009. Like, the recruiting classes go like this: 37, 19, 8, 14, 14, 13, 4, 6, 12, 22, 8, 5, and 7. The year he had the number 6 class and the number 8 class were his championship years. It's not like he's getting the best of the best every year. He's getting solid classes with like 1 or 2 really great players, and then those great players show up every time they step on the field. But the rest of the guys are just really good 3-stars. At some point or another, they're going to get overmatched by the 5-stars. But Dabo Swinney, definitely, that's the heir apparent for Nick Saban. Alabama, when Saban's done, I guarantee you they're going to throw all the money in Alabama at Dabo. Because he used to play there. He knows what it's about. He knows how they do things. It's only a matter of time. And for the final topic, we're just going to slide into baseball super quick. The Mets traded for Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco. Lindor, potential MVP, currently working on an extension with him. And then Carrasco, bounced back from leukemia. Ridiculous thing to have to bounce back from. 82 strikeouts and 68 innings in the shortened MLB season. Super impressive for a starter. The Mets, and it's not like he's got to carry too much weight. The Mets, they already got a great rotation. They got Jacob DeGrom. They got Marcus Stroman. They got Noah Syndergaard coming back from Tommy John. And Tommy John, it seems like the Major League Baseball quarterback, like, fix-all. Like, these guys, Tommy John used to be, like, career enders. But these guys come back now stronger than ever, and it's nuts. Like, the careers get extended like 5 more years. But, I mean, also, bad luck for the Astros. Kept Brantley, lost Springer. Astros just continue to fall off and continue to slip currently farther and farther and farther into obscurity. Again, sad face. Said that was the last one. This is actually the last one. The big fight on the week this weekend. You got McGregor and Poirier. You already know. It's got to be McGregor. McGregor wins, the UFC wins. Well, either way, the UFC wins. McGregor, he gets this win. He gets the momentum train going back up. Dana White's going to, I got a feeling he's going to flip that into a Khabib rematch. And I think that's what they really want. Get enough momentum behind him. They're already talking to Khabib. They're going to get him out of retirement. I think the only fight he'll probably come back for is McGregor, just because it's a draw and a bigger paycheck for him. But Poirier needs this win, because if he does, that makes him 1-1 with McGregor, and that'll set up a trilogy. It might not be as big as McGregor could be, but it's a fight that can sell. And that's all you can really need at this point. I mean, Poirier's record is outstanding. His main blemish would be losing to McGregor 2 times in a row. And I mean, not a lot of people do that. But that's pretty much everything for today. Thank you for listening. Hopefully we'll come back with another episode next week. I'm out. Peace.